What's up, dude?
What's up, man?
Not much. It's another year.
That's it. Happy New Year. Well,
yeah, you too.
So how's the start of your year so far?
I feel like we're just getting started this week, actually.
Yeah. I spent my whole New Year in a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
I think this is like my first couple days where I'm like, oh, it's a new year. It's finally writing my checks right, putting 25.
Yeah, 25 on them. Yeah. Well, you're on this whole new expedition since last time we talked. I remember having conversations with you about this stuff, and you're like, nah, I'm never going to do that.
Running?
Eat that and not smoking. And
yeah.
like man, a lot, dude.
Man, I don't know. I think I've been getting bored, like just doing the same thing over and over again. It's like when I quit drinking years ago, and then I think the business was a lot, man. It was just like grow the business, and man, it started to run itself. Like all of our people are doing everything they're supposed to do, and it's I think I just got bored. I was like, you know what? I think last time we talked, I'd started lifting weights.
Yeah.
So I started eating right. Well, that got boring. So I was like, you know what? I know I said I would never run, but I'm gonna become a runner. So I've been doing that for I think I'm on 21 weeks of training so far. So I think when I started, I was running like 5 miles a week, and I think last week I logged 60 miles, which is
insane. Well, most people they're never going to run 5 miles in their lifetime.
I'm trying to get where I can run. I want to run a 100-miler. Like I want to do this ultra thing. A buddy of mine does it. I'm just like, man.
Are you just going to go straight into that, or are we going to do a half marathon, a marathon, like anything?
Dude, I don't know. At first it was I am going to train for a 5K. I didn't run a 5K, and then it was like I'm going to run a half marathon. I didn't run that. Like I just I'm enjoying the process of learning how to get my body to do what I want it to do. That's like I'm really paying attention to like what heart rate zones do, and how my nutrition helps, and when I have to fuel, how to switch up my routines and shock my body into repairing itself. Like I like the science of it, man, and then I can put my phone down, I go get on the road, and I can run for 2 hours, and the world will be there when I get back.
Yeah.
I think that might be the biggest thing for me, like why I like to run now. And then the smoking thing, that's new. So if I wig out, actually I'm gonna pull these out right now. These are saving my life, man. It's this is my second day without the patch, and I'm I think 10 days in to not smoking, and I was a pack a day smoker for 20 years. So
did you was it hard? Did you start smoking more after you quit drinking?
Yeah. Like I used it as an excuse for everything.
Right.
I smoked after I ate. I smoked when I woke up. I smoked after I drank a cup of coffee. Whatever it was, that's a reason to smoke a cigarette. That's I tell you what, the last 10 days I've stayed a hell of a lot warmer. I haven't gone outside when it's freezing cold out there. It's as a smoker, man, you gotta be dedicated. You go out there no matter what.
Yeah. Well, you do you think like doing all this running stuff and stretching your body there is it making it easier or harder?
Yeah. So 10 days in, I can already tell the difference. I mean, you can like I said, I really pay attention to my heart rate zone. So like I'll go out and I'll try to do like a zone 3 run, and I know what that feels like at this point. It's like, hey, this is the pace that I run. Just go get the miles. When I get done, everything will be zone 3. And the last couple times, it's like, oh, it's not zone 3 anymore. Now it's zone 2.
Well, you would think, yeah, because I remember you saying that. You're like, this is the last thing. I'm not quitting smoking. I'm just going to run and then smoke a cigarette.
Yeah.
Like, and you've been doing that, which is crazy.
Yeah. No, I used to smoke 3 cigarettes while I stretched.
Yeah.
And then go run. And then it's the first thing I did when I went in the driveway. I'd have my little I had my tailgate down, and it was grab me a Pall Mall, smoke that, and drink me water, and go in the house. It's helping me a ton already. In 10 days, I can tell the difference in what it does to my body. It's just, this sucks, man. It's
yeah, man, addiction's no joke. Well, I mean, you've been through it with drinking.
Yeah.
I mean, how long did it take to where you got to where you didn't want a beer anymore?
So this is worse for me.
Really?
Yeah. It's
and how much did you drink before? Just so we can put this in perspective.
I was on the peanut scale. Me and Peanut drank beer for beer. Yeah.
Case a day.
Yep.
So quitting that, like, how long was it after quitting that? Was it to where you're like, okay, I don't even care about beer anymore?
So I don't know. I feel strange because I hear a lot of people talk about when they quit drinking, they go to AA.
Yeah.
Like, I went to like 2 AA meetings, didn't do anything for me. Like, dude, I absolutely lost the appetite for drinking. I don't know what it was.
Okay.
I was like, I don't want it anymore.
Okay.
Now, smoking, dude, it's everything. It's everything that I touch or look at reminds me of a cigarette. It's like I don't know what to do with my hands. Like, it's so it's that. Then it's the chemical dependency. It's
I mean, what nicotine does to your brain, you know?
Oh, it's wild.
Yeah.
The smell, like, so my I didn't realize how much of my smell and taste was gone. Like, I needed real strong things to be able to taste, to be able to smell. Now I can smell everything. And man, anytime that I walk down to the shop, you got people smoking cigarettes in the back. Yeah. It's like, dude, I can smell their cigarette from like a mile away. And it's like, oh, that smells good. So yeah, this is way harder.
Well, that's what my dad was telling me. I think he's like on 6 or 7 months, and he said he's messed up a couple times, but he's done pretty good. And but he says anytime, like, 'cause he's in construction or running like construction jobs and stuff, and he'll get a phone call where it's like, oh shit,
yeah,
and his immediate reaction is to grab that pocket.
Yeah.
And it's not like they're not there. He's like, you don't have them right there.
When I was getting ready to come up here today, it was like, you always have that feeling like do I have all my stuff? You do your little pat check. Man, I was like, what am I missing? Am I missing my keys? No, got those. Am I missing my wallet? No, it was my cigarettes. It's like I'm looking for them all the time.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Well, do you think that this running stuff's will maybe help that at all?
Yeah, so I feel like a big part of overcoming any type of addiction is discipline, and I feel like I saved this one for last. It's like I've slowly just been weeding stuff out of my life. Like, it's, hey, I'm getting rid of the drinking. Hey, I gotta cut sugar. I gotta start eating right. Hey, I gotta get active. I gotta do this stuff, and it just becomes routine and discipline. It's like, hey, this is just what we do. It's just gonna suck for a minute, and then it's gonna be better on the other side. Like, I don't know. This one sucks, so.
Isn't it crazy to think, like, just to look back at yourself 10 years ago? Like, if you could have a conversation with that person, they'd be like, you pussy, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like,
oh, dude, it's
just funny, the mindset change of after, I don't know, you get stuff, there's things that mean something to you far more than what you thought they would once I guess they get put into place, and then you know.
Yeah, so even like the drinking thing for me, I think I've just always been an extremely disciplined person. I just didn't know where to put it. Like, I feel like my drinking habit, for me, that was more discipline. It was like, hey, if we're gonna do this, we're gonna do it all the way. I'm gonna be the best at it. Like, I just had the wrong direction as to what to do with that stuff. But yeah, I bump into people all the time that knew me back then, and it's like, I don't know. It's got to blow their minds. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know. It blows my mind to see some people. It just, life takes you different places you don't expect, man. And it's I feel very fortunate that God seems to be directing my life to be a little more healthy. I don't know, I could die in a car wreck tomorrow though.
There's always that chance, but there's more of a chance that you're going to live to 80 or 90, and help grandkids.
Man, there's a lot of good that comes out of it. I love the fact that I can keep up with my kids. It's like there comes a point it stops becoming about living for myself. It's like now I think I'm kind of getting to that age where it's like, okay, like I've done what I'm gonna do career-wise. How am I gonna help my kids? Am I gonna be there for them when they need it? Like, and I got to be alive to do that stuff.
Yeah.
So that's kind of become more of the focus. It's been less about me and what am I gonna do, and it's like, hey, how do I stick around and stay alive for them?
Yeah, I mean, what else can you feel? I feel like you've done everything at this point, as far as like the getting in shape, the quitting the drinking, now running for,
yeah, it'll be something else.
100 miles a month, and then or however many, a lot. And then
I every year, like I like to just figure out something new. It's like, man, we only got like 60, 70, 80 of them.
Yeah.
Like, that's what all can we do in that amount of time? And I sat on the sideline for 20 years.
Dude, isn't that what that sucks? Like I was having this conversation with someone a couple of days ago, and I was just like, you always want to say, like, if I could go back. And people say that, like, you hear that when you're young, you hear older people say that.
Yeah.
But they wait till 50 or 60 to start having that conversation. I feel at least we've started having that conversation a little earlier.
Yeah.
But still, you can't. I don't think I've made some bad decisions. And, man, I wish I could make them differently? Mm-hmm. Yes. But I don't think I would change the way I got here, because had I not got here the way I got here, I don't think I'd appreciate it as much. You know what I mean?
100%. Like I have this conversation with my wife all the time. It's like I thought life was leading me a totally different direction, and then I ended up in this real empty space in my life. But what came out of that was my wife, and it was my kids, and I don't know, man. I wouldn't change it for the world. It's like that's just the way it's supposed to be. It's like God's using all of us, I think, and He uses the broken. He uses the gamblers and the murderers. And you can find this in the Bible. He doesn't pick somebody who's got all their stuff together because the story's not.
That's not a good story there, man. Because there's so many people out there that are doing the right things, living the right way. That's not as fun to talk about when it's the people that have done the complete opposite their whole life and then make a change. You know?
Well, and that's God's had a big part in a lot of the stuff that changes in my life, and man, it's like He's humbled me in a lot of different ways that have led me to really hard conversations with my wife, with my business partners. Like I spend a lot of time in counseling. Man, if I wouldn't have hit those rock bottoms, I would never be there to talk about those things. I wouldn't grow. I just do the same thing over and over and over again. And shit, you spend more energy trying to mask this image that I think everybody wants. Dude, I got tired of that shit. It's like, look, I'm gonna do my little things. I go to work, I go home, I put my running shoes on. I love that, and then go hang out, talk to my wife, go to bed, get up, do it again. Like, just easier that way, man. It's a lot less energy.
Yeah.
This, being a business owner now, it's, God, you gotta have that face on all the time. And it's difficult, man.
Yeah, everyone expects you to. I don't know. People see a lot of glamour, and there's not.
It's not.
But they see a lot of glamour, and it's glamorous to people. I think what's glamorous to people is we're getting to do what we want to do.
Yeah.
And I think that's where all the glamour is.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it's put on a pedestal to where, like, oh, these people are this or that, and it really, we're just people. We're just people enjoying what we do, but at the end of the day, there's still a lot of times where it's not fun.
Yeah. I would say the majority of it is not fun.
Right.
And then but you got to make it look fun too. It's like, 'cause you don't be the Debbie Downer. Like, I don't know. That's my trick though. Find me an outlet. I think you do the same thing, man. Like you do all that CrossFit stuff. It's got to help you.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, it's a far different energy in our household if we miss the gym a couple of days.
Yeah, yeah.
Or even if we're out of town and we're not on a regimen anymore, then we come back. It's just it's very interesting. I think we are both alike in this way, that we're extremely high output individuals, and our ceiling keeps getting raised.
Yeah.
So if we're not ever, it's like we can't stand up in this short room. We got to get the room taller. And once you get that base level, if you fall under it long enough, well, shit, it's completely different in your dopamine.
This is totally new for me, or I would say not totally new, but something that I've been trying to go back and correct, and it stirred a lot of stuff up in me, and it is access. It's when we started our business, I gave 100% access everywhere to everybody for everything. And I think the business started as we grew employees, it was like, hey, I just need you to come in. I need you to help me get this task done. And the business was small enough that I could have my hands on every piece. But that ceiling that you're talking about just keeps growing and growing, and it will eat you alive. And then it becomes the expectation of people that work with you. It becomes the expectation of all of your clientele, and it's too much for a human being. It's like I'm terrible at answering my phone for people. I just get text over and over and over again. It's all the bands. It's, hey, I need a reservation. Hey, and man, I can't do that from my cell phone when I'm trying to also have a family and do what everybody else is doing. Go to work, do a job, support my family.
Well, that's not your job anymore. Your job, it's
man,
just,
I know, but it makes me feel all these different I'm not doing enough. And I know this about you. You're built that way too.
Yeah, I am. So I'm sitting here preaching the choir.
Yeah, I think all I'm telling you is, man, it's as you grow and as you scale, it's okay to limit your access and funnel people to where they need to go for information. Yeah,
I think that's a double-edged sword, and I completely agree. I do think that's the goal, but you have to find the right people too. Yeah. God, dude, you have to find the right people. You can't just say, well, I'm at this level now where you can't contact me because we're this big. Well, you got to find the right people that can take the,
dude, it's, believe me, I'm on the phone with somebody all day long. Yeah. It's just, I'm not ever going to get to all of them. Yeah. No, and it's and I don't know. It's just one of those parts of business that's it's hard to learn as you get bigger.
I found where you know how it is. Like you come up here and you have all these things you want to do, and you think you're going to get 10 things done. You really only get 2 things done because this person needs to talk to you about this. This happens. There's something, a curveball gets thrown at you. You got a fire to put out.
That's it.
I try to get up. I just started trying to get up a couple, like an hour or 2 earlier every day, depending on the schedule and what happened the day before, and I can try to get some stuff done before the phone starts ringing or the emails start coming in. Yeah. That's the only thing I figured out, because I used to do that shit late at night up till midnight or 1 a.m. But now with the output we have and my recovery and running multiple businesses, it's so hard for me to run that long.
It's a lot, man. You got a lot on your plate.
Well, yeah, it's just hard for me to go hard till 1 a.m. like I used to because of juggling too much now. So I try to go hard till 10 and then get up at 5 and go hard, start the hard again earlier,
Yeah, where I made my biggest mistake was focusing on, man, if I can just handle all this stuff, everything's when I get on the other side, everything's gonna be good. My family's gonna be taken care of. Everybody's gonna love me. I'm gonna be the hero of my family. And it doesn't work like that. Nah. You're honestly doing a bunch of damage trying to get there. It's
prolonging the inevitable.
Yeah, it's balancing, and it's putting less of an expectation on yourself. You're a grinder just like I am. Yeah. And it's some people need the push that, hey, you need to go harder, just grind. you're a grinder, so you might need, just like I do, you should take a break. You should take some time and reset and understand that you do more on fresh legs than
that's a good point.
than just grinding as hard as you can grind.
Yeah, and then you're only if you have a little bit of rest time in between there, then you can knock out 10 tasks that one day.
Yeah,
because maybe your mind's a little clearer and you're not getting caught up here and there, and you're not letting yourself become captured.
Well, it's just like everything you're doing working out. It's the recovery piece is just as important as the exercise piece.
Isn't it funny how even the days you're missing, because you're tracking everything like I do now.
Oh yeah.
Even if you get into the thick of it at work, and your stress will be just as high as it was that you had a hard work day, like workout.
Yeah,
it's crazy what it does to your body.
All the time. I hadn't really figured out why it's dropped, but I'm trying to figure that out. Like
which part?
I'm working the stress level, like where it peaks all day long.
Yeah.
Dude, I think my thing is I got to find quiet space to work. Like I can't do the ping ponging back and forth between things. Like my brain just works where we're going to do this task, then we're going to do this task. And if I pick the wrong place to do that, it's just I get interrupted and then I never get anything done.
Yeah.
And then I feel stressed as hell about all of it. Like, so getting a quiet space and working for me seems to work the best. My counselor actually told me I should go rent an office building. I'm the only person that has a key to it. Because I have an office at home.
Yeah,
but it's
still
the
home.
Same thing. I go home and then the kids want to talk. They want to hang out. Like my son's like, "Can we go play football?" I'm like, man, I don't want to tell him no, and the stress level goes up. I still don't get anything done.
Yeah,
and
no, it's crazy, man. It's problems that. It's good problems.
It's stuff people don't see, though.
Well, it's good. Yeah, it's good problems to have. It comes with the territory. And I think people just need to understand that. It's not all glamorous.
Man, I'm gonna tell you this. I thank God every day for the people that work here. Dude, Brian has BeauxJax. He handles so much stuff that used to be all my responsibility, and it just lets us focus on bigger things. It's Peanut kind of takes care of chef's table, but Brittany is running that thing.
Yeah,
for him it's the same thing. He gets to pay attention to some of the bigger things that matter behind the scenes, and so yeah, it's find the right people, and I think that's the key to finding some life in being a business owner.
Yeah.
But shit, it never goes away. You always gonna have something.
There's always gonna be something. Well, what are we looking like on the agenda for this year? What are you thinking?
Well,
like what are some of your goals for? Because people want to hear that and they want to know what's coming up, but also like what are some of your goals for the growth? And I guess just keeping everything flowing here in this entire district.
Man, this has been on my list since we started, but I think this year is finally the year we're going to be able to put a lot more effort into it, because we're not doing construction anymore. Everything's built. All the buildings are filled on what we own down here. There's big pieces coming to downtown Bossier area. So you got Live Casino, you got Chasing Aces. There's some things happening on the boardwalk. This is the year where I want to focus on getting all of this stuff to marry together.
Yeah, integrate it.
Yeah, it's I want our little group of businesses to work better with the businesses that are here in the East Bank. And a lot of times a lot of those conversations don't happen because we've been too busy. I want to go back and fix some of that and say, hey, let's start doing some events together. Let's figure out a better way for us to get information going out to people outside of our area that hey, this is where you come when you're coming down I-20. Stop here.
Yeah, because that's really something that we haven't had time to do.
It's event after event.
Well,
after
yeah,
event.
and it's just been catered to everyone who's already an audience, which is great.
Yeah,
and we got to keep doing that. But also, what's letting people know what else is going on and what's here that's not from here.
I think the more we can expand the cohesion of these of all the businesses down here, the better it is to serve up a total package to places like the Tourism Bureau, or to get more statewide recognition where stuff goes out as a group. It's like, hey, we're selling the East Bank District, or we're selling downtown Bossier. When it's a bunch of individual pieces, I don't feel like it works as well as it could.
Of course it don't. No, I think it's a way that we need to, package it all together.
I've been talking about it for a long time.
Yeah.
It's just, man, I hadn't really had the time. I will say this, I do feel like we've got some proof that all of the businesses working side by side work well for everybody. I can't think of any business that's in like our old East Bank Mafia group that hasn't fed off another business.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's, man, you could expand that, and it's the pie grows.
Let's do it for the whole damn area.
I don't know. That's my big goal for this year, I guess, is that, and I'm trying to think what else is on the list. I'm gonna spend a lot more time pushing Hurricane Alley and making it a little easier for people to know what's going on. I do feel like there's a lot of comments about, well, I didn't know that was going on. But that's the nature of social media.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's one thing it's hard because if you're not dialed in and subscribed, and what I mean by that is if you're not checking every day, then if the information is there and you're not you're the consumer who's not checking, well, then it's really you didn't know what's going on because you didn't look. But also, it is hard to get.
I think I created the space to do it. I mean, when I was managing all of the social media, man, I didn't have time to hammer on one. It's us giving Red Wolf social media has been great. That has been a huge burden lifted off of my plate. But I think it's given me the space that I really want to focus on getting all of these events that are happening at Hurricane Alley just in your face, and it's like it's free concert. I want everybody to know what the lineup is, and because I want to pack it out every weekend.
How far booked out are we now?
Well, we're already into the summer.
Yeah,
so
that's what people don't understand too. They'll hit me up or ask me, like, look, man, what you're asking for, like, as a regular person, if you have a band or you're trying to book something, these decisions have already been made almost a half a year out already.
Oh, yeah.
At this point. So, like, a lot of people don't get there. They're trying to get a gig for next month. I'm like, those spots are been filled.
I got stuff getting booked next year already.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it's like we're planning some of these shows that far out. I mean, so more
and
than
you
a
have
year.
to when you have these acts. A lot of these larger acts that aren't local. Like, you can't just scoop them up on the weekend.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
It's well, and I think we're doing better at putting some stuff out there. Like, I love that the entire winter and spring lineup is on the back of the crawfish menu. They're posted in all the restaurants. Like, that's helpful. I see people taking pictures of it, so I know that translates to, hey, we're probably going to get some of these people come to the shows. I don't know how to get more people to subscribe to our website. It's the most, I feel like, one-stop location to get everything. But, man, that's not how people consume information.
No.
That's
if they're not on, like, an email blast to where, like, upcoming events, which
I don't check my emails.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There's only probably 3% of people that actually keep up with that. Like, I subscribe to stuff thinking that I'm going to keep up with it.
Yeah.
But then I don't.
Well, I feel like most of the traffic that we get is people just know there's something going on for the weekend.
Yeah.
But man, we spend a lot of time investing in, hey, trying to get just the right show for just the right weekend, and keeping them mixed up. Like there's got to be a better way for us to get that out to everybody. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, man. I think we will. Trial and error.
Yeah, that's on the list.
It's a very unique. It's a very unique bird here for sure, because it's not like a regular venue who's putting out artists that already have a following. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is not that. This is something where, because with that comes ticket sales, with then comes restrictions, with then comes a lot more.
Well, I feel like we've hit every level of music.
Yeah, every genre. Every genre.
I mean, every genre.
Yeah.
We've had people that it was their first time to ever play music.
Yeah.
Played here. People that have been doing this for 50 years have played here, and it's.
But you've had the same reaction from both. That's cool.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit, I can't believe I'm doing this right now. And the same thing from the one who's been playing 50 years. Holy shit, I can't believe I'm doing this right now.
There's been some pretty cool little moments out there, and it's fun to watch. And it's I don't know. It's how do you just keep the energy in it, and how do you keep it fresh and be the thing that people want to do. It's it is pretty uplifting to come down here on a Friday or Saturday night, pretty much any Friday or Saturday, and be like, holy shit, like these people just keep coming. Like it'll make you feel good.
What blows my mind is I'm walking around here whatever time of day it is, whether it's 8 in the morning or 6 at night or whenever, and there's people that are still showing up who've never been here.
Yeah.
And they're like, don't know where they're going. I'm like, hey, what are you looking for? You know, that's still happening every single day, which just gives everyone, like, in this area, not just here where we're at, but like in this entire economy, like in this area of North Louisiana, like that there's hope that there's, everything can still grow, and there's plenty of time.
I like how organically it has grown. Like you can tell that people are coming in because their friends have said, hey, you need to go check this place out. Like, because we'll hear those comments all the time, and I would much rather it grow that way than by like a TV commercial. It's because the thing is, as much as we're selling food and service, we're heavy on the atmosphere side. When you put all these things together, it's more of like, what kind of experience do you want to create when you come down here? Are you a business that wants to come and do a block party? Are you doing a birthday party for this? Is there a retirement party going on over here? Are you here to be front row and center of a concert? Like, it's just a mix of all that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. Still couldn't tell you how the hell we concocted all that, but it all is working together, and I don't know.
What about, let's talk about crawfish, because it's here and it's not late this year. Like, how does that look? Because that's a topic that's always brought up that I'm never in front of.
Okay, so last year crawfish was terrible, man. You had a drought, and you lost like a third of the crop in the northern crawfish ponds. You also had some problems in South Louisiana last year where there was some erosion, where you were getting brackish water kind of invade some of these crawfish ponds, and there weren't any. So obviously supply and demand, costs went way up. The season was really short. Then they go back out and they reseed all of these rice ponds. So this year they went out, they reseeded it, and dude, we've got a ton of rain through the summer, which is great for crawfish. Man, this is going to be a really good year. It started very early. There were some crawfish places already starting late November. We started right after Christmas. The price is still a little high right now, but I would say by probably next week, you'll probably start seeing them come down. By the Super Bowl, I think that's where you're going to see them start landing at what has been more of a traditional crawfish price. and they're going to be lower this year than they've been in a while. And I think the season's going to go long too. So crawfish is going to be really good this year, way cheaper.
Well, on that note, like, people don't understand. I don't think that's kind of where all this started. I mean, you had a lot of crawfish influence into this whole thing getting started.
Yeah.
And I've never known much about that topic, nor have I known much about how that, you know, I know how supply and demand works and all that, but also like just consistently pushing out that product at scale that you're doing. Like, that's a very volatile product. You can't mess it up.
We messed it up a bunch.
Right.
It's over time. It's
how many pounds of crawfish do you think you've cooked? If you had to guess.
Do a calculator.
Let's do some redneck math here. Like,
let's see. Let's just say you did 100 sacks, 34 pounds, so 3,400 a week. So let's see, probably average 4 months times 12 times how many years we've been at this? We're on year 10. Yeah, that's 408,000 pounds.
408,000 pounds.
If I'm doing the math right. Let's see, that's per week, yeah.
That's a lot of damn crawfish,
That's
man.
a lot.
Yeah.
That's
and probably 3/4 of that was carried by you too. You know,
right?
like one of y'all, you, Peanut, or Brian. Or,
so, and the thing for us is, man, when we started, we had never cooked crawfish for the public. It's a whole different process. We were backyard crawfish.
Yeah.
Like where you can go get one of those roll pots from Academy, and it's like, man, I'm gonna throw all my seasoning in here. I'm gonna boil them. I'm gonna drop ice in them and flash them. We can't operate like that. We would lose money at a very high rate.
Dude, people spend so much money on that one bowl, like so much.
Yeah.
Stupid,
So we use a double boil system where you're basically par cooking the crawfish. You're cooking it exactly where it needs to be, where it's where you get the right amount of atrophy in the meat. You break that membrane in their back so that you're pulling cleaner crawfish up out of clear boiling water, and then you're moving them to a soak pot that has an exact recipe that is reconstituted every drop, so that your recipe stays the same every time and you're not having to flush seasoning. So you have a lot of places, especially here in Northwest Louisiana, that when they cook their crawfish, they're doing everything in the same pot. Like it's like they're cooking it and then trying to change the temperature so that the crawfish absorbs seasoning, because that's what it is. If you can imagine like a hot compress to draw something out. If you're trying to pull a pimple out, you're gonna put a hot rag on it to draw that out. We're doing the reverse process with crawfish. You're trying to draw seasoning into the meat. So first thing you gotta do, you gotta break that membrane, and then you gotta have a difference in temperature. So if we're cooking crawfish at a rolling boil, so it's 255 degrees, and it comes up out of that pot, now it moves into a soak pot that's 150 degrees, and it's now created enough space for that seasoning. That meat is so hot that it draws the seasoning in. So there's a lot of places don't do that. You'll see a lot of places sprinkle a bunch of shit on top of them. We will never do that.
So you have a consistent taste across all boards. Ours
is not going to change as the day goes by, because we know exactly how much seasoning came out. How much? So when I moved a pot of crawfish into the soak pot, that drew up a certain amount of seasoning. Well, we know how much that is, and that's what we reconstitute. And now my pot is going to stay the same all the time. If I'm dropping ice in it to change the temperature, man, I'm messing that whole recipe up. We're diluting the seasoning, or the seasoning's getting too hot. We just want ours to be consistent. You're either going to like our crawfish or you're not going to like our crawfish. We get our own seasoning made. We're shooting to punch a bunch of flavor into our crawfish versus try to light you on fire.
Yeah.
And that's by design. I think if we were cooking crawfish in our backyard, it'd be a little hotter than we do here. But for us, man, we've got a lot of people coming down I-20 that are from Dallas, that are from Oklahoma. It makes more sense to me for us to punch flavor instead of
Heat.
Yeah. Because we may be accustomed to heat here. You want to sprinkle some stuff on top of it and light your lips on fire? That's fine. We're still punching heat in there, but we're focused on putting the seasoning into the meat of the crawfish.
Yeah.
And it's science is the way that you do that. And now it took years for us to really understand exactly how that went, because like I said, we went from basically cooking crawfish in our backyard to the very first weekend we cooked crawfish. It was like, oh, we're going to do $2.99 a pound, and the whole damn town showed up. We went through 50 sacks and had no idea what we were doing.
It probably didn't make no damn money either.
Oh, hell no. But that's when we were on the lake.
Yeah.
And it's just like everything else we do. We just jump in the deep end and learn and figure it out.
Sometimes that's the best way to figure it out too, unfortunately. I mean, especially if you have something to compare it to. The measurables are there, you know what I mean?
Dude, we did so poorly our first 2 or 3 weeks of crawfish. It was just like, it was bad. And I remember just sitting up all night and just researching everything I could research. I read every word of a 72-page agriculture study that LSU put out talking about crawfish. And dude, I learned a ton in that. Just the science of how molting really works, like how hindgut works, how most perception of purging crawfish is just bullshit.
That's a huge argument. That's till this day. How's that still an argument when literally there's science proving it?
Salt kills 10 to 15% more. But the only way to purge crawfish is put them in distilled water, and you got to run them and starve them. Yeah. And they get rid of whatever hindgut they've got. It's as close as you're going to get. So you can have clean crawfish. You can change your water constantly. That's like us. We use that clear water pot, so we're able to flush that all the time. And so we're going to get as much evacuated from this crawfish as possible. But I can't afford a multi-million-dollar conveyor belt with distilled water running through it all the time. Yeah. Crawfish would not be cheap if that were the case.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's some stuff we figured out about crawfish.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's a lot. That's why I asked, because, dude, honestly, I haven't. I didn't know anything about any of that. I just know I'll listen to the chatter about the pricing and the availability, and that's all I know. Yeah,
man.
And that's always a discussion, right? How much is your crawfish? How much is crawfish?
So the margin is terrible in crawfish. You're running. It's not near the margins we have in everything else. So that's tough. Then, man, it's such a fragile product. Man, if you're not serving them day one, first in, first out when you're getting them, by day 2, man, you're losing 15% of a sack. If it pushes and you go to day 3, dude, you're pretty much not making money. And then anything past that, I mean, you've got 4 to 5 days where that's it, and then you're at 100% loss on a sack of crawfish.
Yeah.
So you've got to know what you're going to go through. And this is why you see a lot of places sell out early. Like you see a crawfish place like, oh, we're sold out at 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
Well, they do that because they're not going to be able to make money if they're ordering too much crawfish.
Yeah, like
they got to sell out.
Yeah, they got them, and then they got some left over. I mean, you can't run it that way.
Now we get it delivered every single day, which helps. And then, man, we got a really good crawfish guy out of Crowley. His name's Carl Hetzel, and Brian is in contact with him 2-3 times a day, and we know what the fishing looks like. When we wake up in the morning, we just kind of know what to expect in the days moving forward. I mean, we're talking about what the weather looks like next week. we got this cold snap coming in. We're already talking about what does that look like for crawfish. So all that stuff goes into figuring out what the pricing is going to be. Because the crawfish farmers all get together and they kind of come up with their price. And we don't know till Monday. So you have really good relationships with the guys down here if you want to be forward looking at how to be competitive in our market. I don't know, it's a lot of work for what it takes. I'm really glad that we're not just a crawfish restaurant. That is a tough business to make it in if that's all that you depend on. I love that for us, crawfish is more of a draw to our business.
Yeah, it's definitely something that's a specialty item that's added in, in certain times. But it's funny, people always have the conversation about asking the price and shopping that, because typically, I don't know, that's just not something I shop. It's like I don't shop a steak price. You know what I mean? Like I just don't shop like, if it's good, I'm just gonna pay whatever. If I want it, I'm gonna pay what the price is.
Man, I get it for like the time of the year. Like for me, and this is just as a consumer of crawfish, and I'm not craving crawfish at Christmas time.
Of course,
but we got some people that are, and that's why we start as early as we do. Traditionally, that's not crawfish season, but we're putting it out there and people are buying it. It's just at that point, it's a supply and demand issue. I wait until springtime. Man, springtime is when I want crawfish, and the price is going to be decent wherever you go. I mean, if you're talking 25-cent difference across all the places, nobody cares.
Right.
It's like, I don't know. Well, it's why I think we work so hard at making our crawfish a unique thing. We're putting our stamp, our flavor on ours. You either like ours or you don't, but it's going to be the same every time. And with that, we've been able to build a pretty good draw to our business down here, and it's a really good add-on to all the other stuff we're doing.
Yeah, it's really good to be able to go in the back.
Yeah, listen to a concert,
lay out crawfish on a picnic table, live music going, a couple beers. I mean,
not a lot of places in the world to do that.
No, there's really not. There's really not. That's what people don't think about. Well, what else, man? What else we got coming up? We got events. We got some events coming up.
We got the grand opening back there.
Yeah,
it's and this is.
I think it's gonna be the biggest one ever.
I do too.
We say that every year.
As for anybody who doesn't know, the EBM Smokeout has become kind of like a quarterly thing, which I love. Like we're getting to do a lot of different stuff, and talking to all the guys that come out and participate in all this. I talked on the phone with my buddy Anthony, who was in the Jambalaya cook-off, and man, he was telling me just how much he loves just the ability to just come out and have some fellowship with other dudes.
Yeah,
it's like that's been kind of neat. So the big one, the one that started all of it, is barbecue competition.
Yeah.
And we lined that up with the grand opening of the stage. We closed the stage down for the winter months because it's too cold to be out there. So it's March 8th is going to be when we kick it off this year. We've already lined the music up. The music is, the headliner's going to be the Holodecks. Backseat Heroes are opening for them.
That's going to be a big one.
But we make this a all-day thing.
Yeah.
Well, almost 2-day thing.
Yeah,
so you get barbecue teams come in the day before.
Yeah.
How many teams are you thinking is going to be this year?
I think 30. I think we got 30 this year.
Okay.
I really do. So I think we're gonna be busting the seams, which is a good thing in a good way. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
As far as like getting these teams in here, getting them enough room to operate, and then giving the public enough room to operate.
Yeah, last year, dude, I expected like 200-300 people.
Yeah.
Bro, like we filled up everything behind the businesses, all the parking lot. Like, I mean, it looked like our busiest Saturday night. Like in the morning time.
Yeah, it lasted all day long.
Yeah, and it went all day.
Yeah.
And then I think man, the holodecks always bring a really big crowd too, and then that's kind of the kickoff to the spring. Like, this is one of those events that, like, you don't want to miss it because everybody's going to be there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited about it. What do the prizes look like?
Okay, yeah, we stepped it up. So, dude, I'm just really trying to. I feel like these teams, people don't understand this stuff, and it's just the cook. We fell into this thing with barbecue. It works so great. Let's just do all these cook-offs. Like this past weekend when Jambalaya cook-off.
Yep.
I know we slang over 300 something sample tickets, so I know we had close to 400, 500 people out here. Inside the fence.
Yeah,
you know
that's awesome.
And everyone's having a good time, but these teams put so much work into this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the entry fee is minimal, especially when you have a handful of guys. You pay us $100, $200, whatever it is, depending on the competition.
Yeah.
Like, just to be able to come out and hang out, and whatever minimal expense you have in the sample food, like, it's still just there's so much more time. Like, people put so much time and they care so much to get something that's,
yeah,
it's not even about money.
Well, for anybody that is listening and doesn't know this, like, there is no money made.
No,
like,
we don't make
all of this money goes to Hogs for the Cause.
Yeah.
Which I think is really cool too. It's like, it's kind of just become like, we're used to just doing it all the time.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we'll just do another cook-off. And like, I noticed this the other day when you and I did a live video. We didn't even talk about the fact that, like, we were just letting the public know, hey, we're doing another one.
Yeah.
Like, everybody knows that's what
We'd have to break it down for them. Yeah. Well, yeah, I think it's cool, and I don't think it's something that gets played out as long as you're constantly shifting the type of food.
Yeah.
But with the big barbecue one, dude, they're going to get, like, the grand champion gets, like, a huge title belt, and I want to keep upping it every year, so I make it more, like, blinged out and more stuff on it. And then I have a badass custom award. I'm not going to say what it is that I'm working on already for the People's Choice, because the People's Choice is more coveted than the Grand Champion sometimes, because the Grand Champion is going to make $2,000 this year. Yeah. And then just the category guys are going to make $500 a piece. That's awesome. Like, there's a chance to win $3,500 if you win the whole damn. And if you just come out and slaughterhouse everyone, but not to mention all the stuff we get donated for prize. I mean, I think we had $2,000 worth of prizes, $3,000 worth of prizes to give away for all these little categories. Like, we're doing like peanuts pick, best tent, the best dessert. We got the grand champion, best rib, best brisket, best chicken. Like,
I think my favorite part of the whole thing is how serious Meeker takes judging. It's dude, I go in there for the judges meeting just to hear him tell everybody, dude, it is an hour-long process of how to eat something. Mm-hmm. And it's like, you got to eat it this way, and this is what you're looking for. And I love that dude to death. He can talk.
Dude, that dude, he is he's definitely, I feel like, there's days where you're like, shit, and then he comes in and I'm like, well, there's never going to be a down day with him in the room.
I promise you, there is not a competition getting judged like that.
No, there's not. He's a stickler, man, and I like that. But what I like the most about people that do any type of cook-offs, and I'll speak to this because people ask this and people mention things, and there's always comments about people being pissed off of how their stuff were judged. But most of the time, these people throwing these cook-offs together only have ever done one. Yeah. Or maybe they're getting into these towns, even if they're promotion like a sanctioned, where they're getting into these towns where it's up to the town to come up with the judging pool. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times, if you're just picking Joe, Bob, and Sally over here, like, they're not. You need to find someone who's well cultured and well seasoned, and that's what we do when we pick judges. Is I need someone who knows food. I need someone who's not only knows, like, enjoys food, but they know when that's a good jambalaya, or they know when that's a good rib. So you have to pick your judges based on each type of competition, and if they know, they know how to eat.
Yeah, you want to look from subjective to objective,
right?
It's the first bodybuilding show that my wife ever went to. She was in the wellness division. We drove all the way to Lubbock. Dude, she had worked her ass off. She was in the best shape of her life. And we roll in there, and I'm like, it is, without a doubt, like, she killed this one.
Yeah.
She's first place. I know it. Like, and it was, everybody who was around me was like, oh yeah, that's in the bag. Well, another girl won it. She ended up getting second. And she missed it by 1 point. The judge couldn't explain how any of that fell out that way. Mm-hmm. And then we find out that the title sponsor, it's his girlfriend. It was some gym. It's his girlfriend. She won.
It's bad.
It's like
that kind of stuff's bad,
dude. I understand when people get in those competitions.
Well, and that's another thing.
Man, you're taking somebody's time, their effort. Like, it's serious.
Yeah,
it's serious.
It is fun, and it's fun. But some competitors, that's like we had Sweetie on not too long ago. That's all he does every single weekend.
Yeah,
and he's trying to beat you.
Yeah,
he has a good time, but he wants to beat you. He don't drink.
Yeah,
like he shows up. And he's running a barbecue business all day, every day, other than being there. So, like, he's working barbecue all week.
He's practicing. He's researching. He's trying stuff.
But with the judging, what I like about the food competitions is all blind judging. So even us taking the box, we don't keep tabs of who's what. So when we call the winners, it's a ticket number based on we put it taped down, and then we hand that other half of that ticket to the competitor. So we don't even know who's going to win. Now, if you have a distinct difference between what we just know like what you've been sampling. That's why.
So what we're gonna do? What we're gonna do next? So we've got Cajun Navy's done the crawfish cook-off. I think they're gonna do that again this year.
You have a date yet?
Yeah, it's in the calendar, and it's not in my brain.
Okay,
but it's that should be coming up soon. So crawfish, we got jambalaya, we got steak, and we got barbecue. We
gotta do it.
What else are we gonna do?
I guess we're gonna have to do a chili, man.
Chili?
We gotta do a chili. And might as well do a gumbo too. I say we pair the gumbo with the jambalaya next time.
I like that.
It's always that way. It's cold outside.
Yeah.
We're not competing with any other gumbo competitions. Because it's a different time of year.
I like that.
And then we roll in a chili one, man. I think we do it. I think we do those two.
All right. They'll start getting your...
and then we're tapped out, man. I don't think we do anymore.
Yeah.
Everyone, look, you get the best of every cook-off in it. You know what I mean?
I think that's cool, man. If it was almost like once every couple of months, you knew there was cook-off coming.
As long as it's different stuff.
Together. Yeah,
it's not the same crap over and over.
Yeah.
But then you got what else we got coming up? So you got we got the grand opening with the barbecue cook-off, and then we have Cajun Navy crawfish competition.
February. Before we even get to all that, you've got Loco Fest.
Yes. Oh, dude, I'm so glad you brought.
February 15th, and this will be our first time doing it. Man, we're hosting it, but don't take this serious comedy. We started off doing a benefit for one of the officers down here, and dude, it's such a cool thing.
It's
to be able to
shout out to Chris and Joel. Yeah, they run that thing. They take it. It's called Don't Take This Serious, but they take that shit serious.
Very serious. And I guess this was their largest event last year, and they wanted to move it to the East Bank. So I'm really excited about that. We're already talking about this being a 2-show event. Mm-hmm. Like it looks like it's going to sell out, and we're going to end up doing another one. But yeah, that's to my understanding is they're up to 50 contestants that all do video submissions for their comedy, and this is going to be the 10 best of those. And man, we got people from all over Dallas, the whole Arklatex. This is going to be the best comedians that are in our area, all coming together. Our tickets are not expensive. They're $20. I think they're 25 with a.
What's the date on that? February.
It's February 15th.
15th. Okay, yeah.
So if you miss Valentine's Day with your girl, there you go. It's
she's pissed off if you bring her out and let her laugh a little bit.
Yeah. So yeah, man, I think that'll be fun. This will be probably the 3rd comedy event that we've done here.
Yeah.
But man, that room and chef's table is perfect for it. It's the way it kind of has a cocktail area, and then it's the right size room for 200 people. It very much feels like a comedy hall. It just transforms the whole.
Yeah, it works great. It works great. You have a room. You have a green room for the comics. I mean, you have everything you need.
And so that whole space is neat, man. There's always something different going in there. I quit paying attention to it. I let Brittany and Peanut kind of do their thing, and I just surprised myself. I like to open the door and be like, "What are we doing today?" And it's something different that I've never seen before. Every day going on.
No, that space is, dude. We've been able to, even just on the stuff we've done, like we've been able to be so creative down here, adding that space into just the stuff we have going on too. Like aside from what y'all have, like it opens up the doors to do a lot more things.
I don't know if you ever told me we were doing quinceañeras or high school dances,
bridal showers, weddings. The most important day for one young lady's life. A lot of times,
yeah, that's really cool,
and man as well. But but that's something. And then they get to come out. They don't even have to hire a band.
No, yeah,
they just walk out the door and there's a band for free out there. Yeah. Like where else can you do that? You can't do that anywhere else. You could come in here and spend, I don't know what it costs, but less than $10,000 on a wedding and go and have everything here. And you go somewhere else and spend $50,000.
It may not be the best business model, but this is the way. This is the way that we think about it. We're trying to run a business for 40 years, so it's like we're making an investment in keeping things fresh.
Yeah, you're not trying to get rich in 10
long time. Yeah, and it's and to do that, I think you got to be able to give to the community that's going to support you that long. It's why we do free music outside. It's why, like, hey, yeah, we could raise the prices at a chef's table because you get all this stuff built in, but instead we try to look at it as, wait a second, you host an event down here and you bring 200, 250 people, man, 100, 125 of those people have never seen our business, and now they're here, and now we will earn their business as they get an introduction to us. They'll do an event at Chef's Table, they'll end up in Pirogue or BeauxJax or BeauxJax, and then it's on us to earn that repeat customer. So don't raise the price there. Just take it as a win, as, hey, somebody's event just advertised for you and brought you new traffic.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's how everybody else thinks, but
I don't think it's how anyone thinks, but I think it works great, and I think people should pay attention. Like, because if you collaborate, you're willing to collaborate with anyone, you're always going to double your chances of success. I don't give a shit who it is.
Yeah.
Because then you get access to their following and their network. But I mean, we also, I don't want to leave without mentioning, I mean, Seventh Taps had a great year.
Oh, yeah.
I'm excited about those guys being down here.
Me too.
Being able to collaborate with them on stuff has been amazing. And they bring a whole different demographic.
Yep.
It blends in well.
God, and they think about events same way that we do.
Yeah.
It's like, hey man, we're here to have a good time first. We'll figure all the other stuff out behind it.
Yeah.
And so yeah, they've done really well. They open really strong. I think they've really done one of the hardest things for any startup restaurant is, man, you only have a window this short to smooth everything out. And dude, they muscled through that real quick. It's by week 3, I think they were like, okay, we're getting this figured out.
Yeah.
And now it's just fine tune it. But yeah, I'm proud of all of them. They did excellent this year. I think they're going to continue to grow. Their food is phenomenal.
Yeah, it's great. It's great, man. It's good. And we have dad bods and hot rods coming up. Father's Day.
Yep.
Day before Father's Day. That was going to be always a big one. And
that was fun.
That's fun because, dude, and the concept between what they had come out and then Seventh Tap collaborating with it and then you creating the damn what did you call it? Like, oh man, I don't know. You had all these challenges.
I forget what we called it, but
yeah,
it was a dad obstacle course.
That was hilarious, dude. What all do they have to do?
I got to go back in my notes, man. We do so much stuff. I can't remember all this.
It was like they had to run the trash out.
You had to sink screws. You had to go up a ladder and change a light bulb. You had to run the trash can around a cone. Just shit. And then you had to balance a checkbook.
Yeah.
Shit dads would do.
Yeah.
It's, I don't know. It was good. The whole, like, that's kind of the whole key to everything down here. It's like, man, if we're gonna live here and be here all the time, like, let's at least make it a good time.
Might as well enjoy it, man.
It's basically anybody who comes in here, just tell us what you want to do. We're gonna figure it out. That's seems to work.
Yeah. Well, cheers to the new year, sir. I'm ready.
Let's do it.